Welcome to the Far Post Perth, brought to you by Outside 90. My name is Donna Jaffray and we're here to speak with the fans to discuss the game that we just witnessed between the Perth Glory and the Western Sydney Wanderers. It was a fiery encounter. It had offside goals, as they say, firing tackles, poor officiating and much, much more. Let's hear what the fans had to say.
I thought it was an absolutely awesome game. Great atmosphere in the shed there where I was. I thought it was a disappointing result getting a draw. Always would have been better for the win, but, you know, 1 point, I think it's all right against Western Sydney.
And what about that second goal against that Western Sydney scored? Was it offside or was it on?
I have no idea. I couldn't see it down the other end.
And I thought the shed was going to do a 61-minute applause for Johnny Warren today. That didn't happen.
A few people started it, but didn't really stick around. The shed boys up the back were starting their own sort of stuff, so it didn't really hang around.
Right, fair enough. Cool, thank you for talking.
What can I say? All I can say is we paid good money today, right? And the Glory played an average game, but the refereeing was well below average. There's got to be some checks and balances in the refereeing. The Wanderers were allowed to do what they pleased when they liked and got away with it. In saying that, Glory didn't use the width of the field. They seemed to be bogged down in one area and basically all get tied up in little bits and pieces, passing here, passing there. No depth in the field. No depth in the field.
Well, I mean, the referee didn't help, but at the same time, we need to be beating teams like that quite easily, and we didn't.
Right, and where do you think we lacked today?
Everywhere. Lapses in defence, didn't create much going forward. Maybe the numbers forward aren't right. Castro got shut down and isolated too much. But at the same time, I mean, we should be thumping them here. They had the ball more than us, and they created more than us, and it was shit.
So just not happy? You're just not happy?
No, of course I'm not happy. We should be challenging away from home, and we're struggling at home, so we'll work it out. We'll work it out. Kenny will be back in the change rooms next week, so I got confidence we'll work it out, but, you know, not good enough.
Thanks for talking.
Right, peace.
It's pretty disappointing, to be honest with you. I mean, anyone that comes to Perth really needs to be getting a draw at best, and if they get a draw, as far as I'm concerned, they're doing well. I mean, Western Sydney coming all the way from Sydney to Perth and getting any kind of a point is disappointing, especially when you're 2-1 up. I mean, you're having to travel God knows how many thousand kilometres, and you're getting a point. I'm just really annoyed about it.
They scored Western Sydney scored the quickest goal in history for the club. 35 seconds it was. And then Keogh backed it up almost immediately. Where do you think it went wrong for the guys today?
I mean, I think you've got to give credit to Western Sydney. I mean, they are a good side and they're going to be in the top 6 this year. It's simple as that. I mean, but at the end of the day, you haven't given a good enough forward press. So second half, you haven't given a good enough press. The delivery from the fullbacks haven't been good enough for the crosses in the wide there. And Diego Castro's had a bad game. I mean, if he's had a bad game, Perth Glory generally have a bad game. At the end of the day, if you haven't grasped the fact that Western Sydney have come here for a draw, which I don't think Perth Glory have, I think they thought Western Sydney were going to come here and they were going to have a go at us. They haven't. They've come here for a draw. They've got themselves a draw, and that's really disappointing for us. At the end of the day, it's disappointing.
Thanks for talking with us.
I think Keogh, maybe.
Keogh. Who do you think was man of the match today?
I don't know their names, but I think number 9.
Number 9. So Andy Keogh? Andy Keogh. Yeah, and who do you think man of the match was for Perth Glory today?
Perth Glory, Andy Keogh, as always, you know.
Andy Keogh. And do you think Castro had a bit of a mediocre game today?
Today he wasn't at his best, you know, but normally at home, you know, he entertained us, but today he wasn't there.
I think Andy Keogh really did set up a lot of opportunities. You know, I think really, yeah, he's a good player for us.
So tell me who you think the man of the match was today.
I think Andy Keogh.
Andy Keogh?
Diego Castro.
You like Diego Castro. An away fan here with us today, a Western Sydney supporter. Did you make your way all the way from Sydney?
I live over here now, but I'm still a fan, been with the club since they started. So
right, so you're an original Sydney supporter. Yep. Perfect. And what did you think of today's match?
it was good. There was a bit of bad and a bit of good on each team. So.
Yep. And who do you think was man of the match for the Western Sydney today?
It was hard to tell. There was a few good players. Santalab with that second goal, so...
That goal was offside, wasn't it?
No, it actually was onside. If they looked at the line properly, they showed a recap of it a few minutes afterwards, and it actually was inside. It was just a bad angle they showed first.
I'll take your word for it. Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you go, guys. You've heard it from all the fans here, including an away fan. We're back here in 2 weeks' time on the 18th of November when we play the Adelaide United. Stick around for much, much more when the women's team take on Western Sydney in their open season. You can find us on the Far Post Perth on Twitter and Facebook.